In this video, I'm going to go over designing the steps in designing this subdivision. What I have is our example design project. I've laid it out so that it has single family lots through here. This will be a pond tract, an open space tract. A and C will be open space. Tract B will be where my pond's located. In here, we'll put in buildings. We'll have a 4-unit building and a 5-unit building. So I'm going to step you through creating the alignments, the profiles, how to create parcels for labeling our lots. We'll talk about our assemblies for the road. So you can see I have parallel parking on this side of the street and I have parallel parking on this side of the street. How to create our assemblies. Notice that I've got my layout is over here is where a gas easement used to be. So I had to have my road on the opposite side of the gas easement. So this is actually the property line. And I'm using half of the opposite side as my connection of my roadway. So we'll talk about easements and what we would have to do on our final plat to remove these easements so that we can use this land for either roads, houses, or open space tracts. All right. Before we get started, let's take a look at the layout. We have to make sure that it makes sense with respect to the survey and when we go to do a final plat. So the first thing I want you to take a look at is, are these lots parallel and perpendicular to the center line? So I'm going to go ahead and go to annotate in angular. I'm going to click on this line, a lot line, and the center line. And I can see that it is 90 degrees. So that is perfect. I can click on this line and this line, and again it's 90 degrees. So you want to make sure that before you start, your layout always has the 90 degrees. Okay, it doesn't have to be. You can do them when they're non-tangential and non-radial to a line, but typically the lines have to be radial and tangential. So if I was going to test out the ones on an arc, I would start a line and I would go from the center point to the end point and see how it perfectly lines up. Okay. So these are radial to the arc of the center line. All right. Also notice that we have a 56.5 foot right of way. We've got parking on one side, parking on the other side, and these are 50s. All right. So we are now ready to start. So we know that our layout is fine. So now we're ready to start looking at our alignment. So I'm going to come up here on my home tab and I'm going to go over to alignment, create alignment from objects. I am going to pick this line and it's going to be going this direction. And I hit enter and notice the arrow. That's fine. So I'm going to hit enter again. I'm going to call it Street A and I'm going to start at 10 plus 0, 0. I'm going to take off the curves and I'm going to add and I'm going to erase the line underneath. All right. And I'm going to go OK. Now, the second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do my alignment on my alley. But first, what do I end with? I end with 2350.24. So I'm going to start this one at 30. So that gives me room in case I need to make changes in the first alignment. So I'm going to pick that. Hit enter. It's going the right direction. Hit enter again. Uncheck this. Now I'm going to call that alley A. And I'm going to start on 30. Station 30. So that gives me from 23.5 to 30 if I need to change street A. And then I'm going to click. The other thing is the alignment labels. I'm going to do major, minor, horizontal, vertical, geometric labels, and then go OK. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to create an annotation, a label. So I'm going to click on annotate labels. And what I'm going to do is I want to do it off the alignment. I need to know what that station is where these two intersect. So I know when I go to do my profile, I'll know what specific station to start and end at. So I'm going to do station offset. I'm just going to do a basic marker. I'm going to click OK, and it's going to be off of this alignment here. And I'm going to click the endpoint there. And I'm going to click the endpoint here. All right. Now, I didn't realize this, but this should not have that. That shouldn't have been an arc. Not quite sure why that's there. So I'm going to convert that to a line. Convert to a line. Convert to a line. Convert to a line. I must have offset this circle here for whatever reason. And then I should be good. All right. I've also got additional lines. All right. It looks like I don't have my alignment set up. So let me go ahead and delete these if this is in yours already. So I'm going to go fillet radius 25. So this should be here. And then fillet radius 23 for the curve. All right, now I'm good to go. Okay, now it's set. I might find little errors as I go along, so just bear with me. Okay, so now what this means is at this intersection that this is the station and this is the station. Now I want to be able to view these, but I don't want to print them. So I've already created a layer called 0 FAU no plot. That means if you look at your layer manager, I created this layer called 0 no plot. Notice that the little plot that has that minus, that means it won't plot, and I put it on the color 30 just to remind myself that kind of the no plot layer usually goes on a color that you're not typically going to use, and we don't use orange that much at our office. All right, so now I've got my alignment set up. What I'd first like to start to do is go ahead and set up all of my easements and setbacks to start my site dimension plan.